My man.
These guys will be at the beach and we'll be coming down.
Homies helping out homies. Aloha, the start to the August 4, 2018 Sea to Stars road race has been moved to where the Sea to Stars began, Hilo. The race will start at 10 a.m. Assignment will be at 9:40 a.m. The pre-race meeting will be from 9:40 to 9:55 a.m. The race starts on Ponako, adjacent to the sign-in area. The course is 32.5 miles with an elevation gain of 8,734 feet. Yes, home turf. I'm so stoked about that. So, here's the scoop. Me and Rane and all the competitors have been getting emails from Hawaii Cycling Club discussing the wildfires that might impact the race start from Waikoloa. So wildfires are spreading and they're not allowing people to go through Saddle Road from Kona side. So now they're moving it over to Hilo side. So now the race has changed. The gradients have changed. It's a shorter race, more hills, and I'm extremely excited for it because this is more of my home turf. I've definitely climbed Mauna Kea way more times from Hilo side than Kona side. So I'm super hyped for this race. It is going to be tight, and it's moved to like 10 a.m. It's going to be at such a good time. And we're going to be in the midday heat, which I feel like I do better at. This is going to be sick. Let's go. So warming up right now. My favorite part about this race that it's where I live. 10-minute descent to get to the start line, you can't beat that. Comfortably sleeping in your own bedroom, not having to drive 2 hours. The race doesn't start as soon as you wake up, like it's at 10 a.m. I love it. I love it. So just warming up. Race strategy, don't blow up. Don't follow the 350, 400 watt surges and attacks. Those will blow me up. I'm just gonna pace to my own wattage, and if I can't stay with the front group, I don't care. Hopefully I'll catch people at the end. Hi Todd and Jillian. Aloha. My man.
These guys will be at the beach and we'll be coming down.
Homies helping out homies. Hey guys. Aloha. You ready?
Yeah, I only had like
you look focused.
17 cups of coffee this morning.
17, and like you peed like 9 times. Took 3 dumps.
At least 12. I took like 6 dumps. I think I have one more gift coming, but it's gonna be small.
Alright.
Alright. How's the green tea, dude?
It kind of made me nauseous actually.
That's good. It prepares you for the rest of the day.
Alright, anyway, we're about to race. We'll see you in the GoPro footage. Wish us luck. Hey y'all, what's up? This is the race breakdown of the Mauna Kea Sea to Stars road race on the Big Island of Hawaii. The course was 32.4 miles long, an elevation gain of 8,435 feet, and an average gradient of 5%. Here is me and Rane starting off the race in the front. the good buddies in the front. That was kind of a bit of a special moment, and I kind of just want to go over this race, how I raced it and how I paced it, how I fueled, and just anything else valuable I could bring to you in this video. I'm gonna try to point it out. But anyway, right now you can see the group passing me. They just caught up to me. I was a little bit ahead as soon as the gun went off, but because I was holding my watts and I knew my strategy, now you know the surges are coming, so the first hills are coming up. Here I unclipped and had to clip back in. I'm like struggling to clip in with those shoe covers I have. Sometimes the rubber under the shoe and around the cleat kind of makes it hard to snap in, but minor shoe malfunction. But yeah, I'm trying to hold my watts. So basically the way I'm pacing this is I have an idea of what my 3 to 4 hour best power is, right? And it's about 225 watts. So I know I could do at least 225 watts and maybe a little bit more. So I'm in my head, I'm like, all right, I have specific numbers that I think I can hold. So I'm gonna hold them. So that's somewhere between 225 and 275, but I'm also going to listen to myself. Make sure I'm not starting out too hot, which is going to end up causing more fatigue and a total decrease in power over the whole course. So usually if you want your best effort on a time trial, you know, it's best if you know what you're going to hold or what you want to hold and just stick on that. Here you can see everyone passing me because the surges are coming. Literally we're only a minute, or actually we're 9 minutes into the race, and yeah, everyone's surging. I'm holding 300 watts. People are up front doing 350 watts on this 9% gradient. I'm saving my legs. I'm minimizing fatigue by causing less lactate production in my legs. So I've learned, you know, these races, you know, I've done 2 of these kind of long epic uphill bike races. I did Sea to Stars last year, and I did the Haleakala race this year as well. And I learned that, you know, you have to be confident in your top end ability to put down a lot of power and still be recovered enough to hold a sustainable pace. So I've learned over the years that I'm a lot stronger if I just hold my watts at the moment. And in here I come back and catch a bunch of people after I literally went from like 6th place all the way to last place, and now I'm gonna go back into 6th place here. Just past a big peloton on this little downhill section, and yeah, you know, the way people pace the climb is they ramp up the watts on the steeper sections and they ease off on the flatter sections, which is an efficient way actually to get the most speed out of a course. But I do think you're supposed to hold a decent amount of power on the flats as well. I think that's super important, and that's how I race. You know, again, you know, we're passing each other back and forth. I'm not letting my mind take over or my ego be like, oh, those guys are passing me, I'm getting dropped. It's like, no, I know I'm stronger than these guys and I know what I'm doing. I'm holding my watts, and then eventually I pass them on the flatter sections. So a really smart strategy. I just, you know, listen to my body, know the watts I could probably do, and go off that. And it definitely paid off.
I hit a bow when the shots go. I got so many eyes on you. Too many people watching. They don't know how we go. A-okay, no way. I be on blaze. Got the high in the bass.
So after choosing to be patient, everyone got into the position they rightfully deserved. And right now I'm here with a kid named Caleb. He's about 16 years old, triathlete from Kailua Kona, and we're pacing back and forth, and me and him, you know, ended up finishing pretty close together. He ended up coming in 5th place. I ended up coming in 6th place. So right here we're just taking turns pulling. It's mostly him doing the pulling, to be honest. I did a bit of pulling, but he was definitely the stronger man. The only time I really pulled is just maybe psychologically proved to him that I was stronger than I actually was, but he was definitely the stronger man. I mean, yeah, we'll call him a man. I mean, to race like this, to race these kind of races at these speeds, he's definitely a man. He's definitely proven himself here, and he's even opening up a gap here. I'm still holding my watts. I'm not losing any morale. The gap's opening up more and more, but I do end up catching him. I don't think he was ready to go make a breakaway on his own at that point. I think that's why he came back. And as well, me being with him kind of helped him, push himself. It motivates him a little bit more. So I felt like that's the reason why we came back together. I'm still holding my watts. I'm definitely suffering. I've definitely got I'm grimacing. And Caleb's just playing around in the rain. I was telling him to he should definitely get some shoe covers because the rain was just, I can imagine, was soaking everyone's feet who didn't have shoe covers, and I got some Velo toes that were just super helpful and made me feel like I was a lot drier than I thought. Anyway, yeah, me and Caleb even started to ramp it up even more about at the 4,000 to 6,000 foot elevation mark. He started pushing 300 watts plus, and I would try to definitely hold on to his wheel and try to make a couple surges myself just to show that I had the strength. But sometimes it's because I was trying to play a psychological game with him. He is young and maybe I could mess with his head a little bit, but overall he stayed strong, and I should have just held his wheel and let him do the pacing. There was not a lot of draft, but it was in the moment. It was the best I could do. And here's when we got to the Mauna Kea access road. This is Colin that I'm passing. This is Colin's GoPro footage. He ended up starting out with the front group, couldn't hold on to the pace, popped off, and me and Caleb ended up passing him on Mauna Kea access road. This is me cycling up the steep ramps of Mauna Kea access road, and unfortunately I did not get footage of the GoPro footage of the steep sections. I wish I did, but that's kind of how it goes. I'm trying to figure out the GoPro thing or get enough battery life on it so I can just film for 3 hours. I'm trying to figure that out. But anyway, guys, that's the race. Came in 6th overall at 2 hours and 57 minutes and 13 seconds. And here are post-race feelings towards our experience at Sea to Stars.
I see many clowns, I see the many smiles. Top down, I'm ready now. Please thinking you not getting out. I'm telling OGs you playing with emojis. I'm telling OGs you playing with emojis. Got the gold dripping on the floor like drop, get me now.
Do you think this thing's made of real gold?
Alright guys, what's going on? We're driving home from Mauna Kea, finished up 2018 Sea to Stars. I'm going to give you my side of the race, how it went for me, and Rane's going to give you his side of the race from his perspective and his experience. But anyway, my race went pretty well. I'm really satisfied with it. Came in 6th place at 2 hours and 57 minutes. I had a completely different strategy than I've ever had before in these races. I decided not to hold on to the front group. If they were going to start surging 350, 400 watts. And first kicker, 350, 400 watts, I backed off. Everyone passed me. I was literally the last person. And then I just held my watts, 250, 275, and it eventually got me to 6th place. But super stoked to hold 260 watts for 3 hours. I've never done that before. And overall, it was a good effort and a good training session. I mean, it was a race, but it was great training for me. Rane, how did it go for you?
It went good. I got 3rd overall, which I'm stoked about because it's my first road race. I did tries and gravel races before. This is my first real cycling race, and so I'm super stoked. I started off from the gun. I knew, because I used best bike split. This is gonna get nerdy. This is gonna get a little cycling nerdy, but I looked up how I should pace it if I was doing it by myself, and based on my FTP that I have in Florida. Now in Florida it's all flat, and so here my FTP is lower, but I don't really know what it is. So I looked it up with my FTP for Florida. I knew what power to hold, which is just under 300 watts if I was going to do it by myself. And but I knew I couldn't do that because I'm not a climber, and I knew there would be some surging, so I knew it would be even lower. So I decided to start the race keeping it around 300 watts. I stayed with the 3 guys in the front who were kind of doing a little bit of surging, kind of hammering up the hills and backing off a little bit when it leveled out. But I yo-yoed it. I tried to keep my watts under 400 because because I knew it would blow me up in the later parts of the race. And judging by these guys, they were kind of hammering up these hills and still chatting. They were talking. I knew that I wasn't at that level. I knew that that was gonna, if I tried to stay with them, it was gonna end up hurting me a lot. So I kept 300 watts. I probably was with the guys for maybe 40 minutes or something, and I dropped off when we got steep.
So how many?
Sorry?
How many were ahead?
There were 4 in the beginning, first maybe half an hour, and then one guy got a flat. He was on tubular, so he kept riding, but he stopped to check it out, and then he got a wheel change. But the guys in front just kept riding, so I kept riding. I don't know if we were gonna like stop and help him, but yeah. So then there were 3. I dropped off pretty quickly, and just held 300 watts for an hour and a half. And then as it was getting steeper, I mean, it was getting higher elevation, about 5,000 feet roughly. I dropped down to more about 280, 270, and by the time I was climbing up the steepest parts, I was a bit lower, 260, 250. And by the end of the race, the last 3 miles take about 30 minutes, maybe more, like 10-minute miles. Like, you might as well get off your bike and run. Like, it's so steep, it's so slow, and you lose oxygen. And my watts were, 250, 240, around there. So I averaged the whole thing, like 275 average, and I did well. I was really pleased with it. I just kept. I knew I needed to use the watts in the beginning when it was less steep, and I had more utilization of my muscles, because that's where I train, is in the flats. And I knew that once we get up high in elevation, watts are going to drop no matter what, because there's no oxygen. So I tried to use up my matches in the beginning, and next time I will probably pace it more consistently and just kind of do my own race if the winds are like they were today, because the winds weren't that strong in the beginning, and I could have gained a few minutes, maybe not placed any higher, but I could have gone faster if I just stuck to my wattage, just did 300 watts for about 2 hours, and it didn't surge. But yeah, it's awesome race.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I'm so stoked for the people who hold it down, Hawaii Cycling Club. This race, sometimes, is like sometimes questioned if it's going to go on. So, if you do want to take a vacation, you want to race this race, I highly recommend doing it. I really would love to see this race go on. So, if you're visiting Big Island, or you live on Big Island, or you live on any of the Hawaiian Islands, definitely come and do this race if you're a cyclist. You will not regret it. It's one of the most epic, beautiful climbs, and you'll definitely feel rewarded at the end of it. So
yeah, I gotta add too that the vibe, all the crew that were riding were so awesome, man. Like, everybody was super nice, and everyone, like, it wasn't like a competitive, like, I've seen some cycling races where everybody's kind of hating on each other. Yeah. Everyone here was so cool. It's so nice. Like, I gave everybody a hug when they made it to the top. It's just Aloha spirit really shined through. So I'd highly recommend it. People do this race just to finish. There's a lot of people that it's such an epic race. It's such a hard race that just doing it is rewarding. So definitely recommend doing it if you can make it out here, if you're in the area.
Yeah, guys, that's a wrap. Make sure to check out Cycling Spirit on Instagram, and Rane's YouTube channel, and Miami Fruit, the business that Rane runs with his girlfriend Adele. And it's kind of like they came out here for a vacation, the whole Miami Fruit crew. They've been helping me out a lot, so make sure to go check them out. And all those links will be in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Hope to see you next year, 2019.
Shout out to Benny.
See the stars. Thank you, Benny, for filming. His links will be in the description below. Aloha.
Peace.